Hey y'all, it's very summer here in Central Texas, so we are throwing any idea of cooking out the window, and today is gonna be a summer salad with apples and candied pecans. I'm gonna show you how to candy pecans in my very basic kitchen. So if you have a basic kitchen too, welcome. This is the side of the internet where we're just going to enjoy our homes as they are, and we're gonna invite you into them. So come in my kitchen with me. Let's cook something really yummy and really basic. That was a little bit more, but also I like garlic. These are candied pecans I normally will make in like winter time and give them as gifts, and I'll put cinnamon in it. Today we're just gonna do salt and like the maple syrup's gonna make them really sweet. It's really basic, just half a cup in, and then we're gonna wait until it gets a little bit bubbly. And when it does, we're gonna add in, ooh, it's already smelling so good. We're gonna add in pecans, and you'll see they kind of go from this like sticky mess to a little bit. Georgia is so busy, and all the girls, it's like, of course, it's the hottest of summer. It's already 97 degrees outside. So we're just gonna cook with the kids in the background because there's also a really good chance you have kids in your background. All right, so see, it's already starting to bubble. When we get the pecans in there, it goes like kind of through a process. I want more bubbles in my cast iron. You can do this in something else, but I don't know. I've never tried this in like a stainless steel pot. I feel like the heat would be too hot too fast. So once this starts to bubble a little bit more, add in maybe another half cup. You can kind of start to eyeball, because if you have been at one of my very unofficial cooking shows, then you know that I'm not really very precise. This is about a cup of pecans. We're gonna mix it so that they coat, and then they're gonna start to cook down. I think I put my good wooden spoon into the dishwasher. Yeah, again, not gonna be the place where you get official directions, because I do put the wooden spoons in the dishwasher. Okay, I can see that maybe my handfuls were a little bit small, so I'm gonna put a little more pecans in here. I hear Ollie coming down the stairs because I know he can smell this, and he's like, what are you making, Mom? Making candy pecans. Okay, so we coat them. They're gonna get a little bit glossy. These will go very fast in your house. We're not even really cooking the pecans. Like, they're not gonna change much texture. It's still gonna be a little bit crispy. The maple syrup kind of evaporates. If you really love this, at the end you could put on some vanilla. I like it just like this. I'm gonna get a parchment paper ready to catch this. So just enjoy the sizzle as it sizzles. Keep moving them because they get hot. Don't ask me what temperature it is, it's just hot. If you have never candied pecans before, be careful with the splashback. A hot maple syrup that is getting to like sugar status is gonna be really hot against the skin. Ask us how we know, because I've sent my children to make this before. It's been a very precarious situation. Also, my recommendation is always cook with a shirt on. Just always a recommendation. Wear the shirt, guys. All right, come take a look. So now you'll be tempted to take them off. Don't do that yet. Let it get a little bit more sugary on the sides. It's gonna get kind of like a cloudy, powdery look. This is going to the thick syrup, so we're cooking off a lot of the liquid from that syrup. They are not ready yet, y'all. Keep it at like a medium low, depending on how hot your pan is getting. I'm so concentrated on this, guys. It smells so good. You know what it smells like? At the convention center, or like you go to this is gonna sound so silly, the rodeo. When we would go to the rodeo in Houston, they always have like a warm, salty nut section. And that's the best tasting candied pecans ever. Or if you're in Texas and you've got a Buc-ee's gas station, that's where you get it. It's so delicious. This is what your whole house will smell like. So it's worth the heat in the summer. Okay, now take a look. They're getting really sticky and really glossy. We're still not ready. We have about 4 more minutes to go. I wish someone had told me in the recipes that, like, you know, if you go on somebody's blog or something, the really good ones are gonna tell you what you're seeing, and what you're smelling. Because if they just said cook for 4 minutes and it looked like this, you'd be pulling it way too early and you would crack your teeth on this. You need it to cook a lot more of the liquid off. They're too sticky right now. Deep concentration. It's the same kind of concentration as when I told you and you're making that everyday bread. Do not neglect the broiler. You will set your bread on fire. Do not neglect these pecans. You will have a burnt mess. I'm turning the heat down because I can smell it and I don't want them to burn. No burned nuts here today, guys. They were on the verge. I'm telling you, tend to your nuts. We are talking about pecans here, people. Okay, now you can see it's starting to get sugary on the pecans themselves. They're kind of forming like a crustiness. That's the liquid going off and the sugar coming. They're kind of clumping, but they're not sticky. That's what we're looking for, people. Go for the gold here. Maybe 2 more minutes. Oh, these are gonna be good. No, the syrup like evaporates into a sugar. We'll just keep moving it so it doesn't burn. We got a little too hot, a little too fast, but it's still gonna be good.
Should do a double.
Double batch? Okay, I'm gonna take them off the heat and finish cooking. Yeah. We should make sweet potatoes and put the extras on there. This part cools them quick, so they're gonna be really hot. Don't touch them with your hand like I just did. But spread them out. These are still a little bit sticky, but if they're cloudy like these ones, woo, hot. That's a good way to know you're ready. Put your salt on to taste. I'm not gonna tell you how much this is because I do not know. And then I just go back and forth, mixing them so that salt's on everything. So, sugar-free, candy-coated, salted pecans. Do you know how badly I just resisted saying that's salted pecans? If this is the holidays, like October through probably February, right? Like I'm making these all the time. I still make the same thing, but then I add in some cinnamon and it tastes like, I don't know, tastes like Christmas. But if you're doing that, I don't recommend just like doubling the batch. For some reason, it's hard to keep the evaporation of the syrup consistent. So I still do the same size batch, just like over and over and over again in a time where you don't care if your house is getting hot. But let's take these, we're gonna put them into a salad with a vinaigrette dressing, and I think you're going to love that. Salads are really easy, but dressings I feel like are a bit trickier. This dressing is almost a balsamic vinaigrette, but I had no balsamic, so I'm gonna make it with a red wine vinegar. But this cup, you probably have one. This is all you need to make salad dressing magic. And then a kitchen sink of spices that you probably also have as well. So I'm gonna start with the like liquid base. When I was a product of the 80s, my mom had all the like kitchen seasonings. Like she'd have a taco salad seasoning. She'd have, this is about half a cup. She'd have all of the salad dressing seasonings, like Italian dressing and like ranch mix and things like that, just store-bought in the pantry. And then when I became a grown-up, oh, I'm out of this seasoning. And my mom was like, didn't you know you could just make it yourself? That would have been really nice to know. So now I basically just have loose single seasonings, and then I put them together to make something that I like from my childhood. So this is a vinaigrette. I ran out, and I'm gonna use this red wine vinegar and a little bit of maple syrup to give it that sweetness. It won't taste exactly the same, but it will taste awesome. Equal parts vinegar and oil. I used olive oil. It's cheap. Here's the cheater's way of doing this. I remember having that kind of carafe. It was very fancy. It had a plastic lid that opened and closed, and it had lines, measurement lines on it so that you could know when to put the seasoning in and how much oil and vinegar. Again, I just learned it's half and half. So eyeball it. You can see the separation. It's about half and half, maybe a little splash more of the vinegar. Then we're gonna put in about 1.5 teaspoons of syrup. If you like it not sweet, then you're fine. This one is gonna have kind of a creamy texture, and that creamy texture is gonna come from the Dijon mustard. Not gonna lick it. The rest is like 1/4 teaspoon of all these seasons, and I'll let you know what they are as I put them in. In my house, that's about 1.5 pinches. So salt, pepper. This is a classy way of keeping your onion powder. It's an old sauce jar. Onion powder, I actually like a little bit extra. Keep a apron handy so you can just wipe off your fingers.
Link in the description.
Link in the description. All right, parsley. If you've got it fresh, you can use it. You just need a little bit more of it. And I'm not great at finely chopping it, so finely chop that fellow. All right, garlic. That was a little bit more, but also I like garlic. Adjust as needed, and then give her a good shake. And now you have the easiest dressing you've ever made in your life. It smells really, really good. This is the part in the cooking video or the blog that you're keeping to scroll and you're like, I don't care about your family's history with cheddar cheese. But here's what I'll say about salads, and I do think there's room for edifying a very basic dish like this. There is nothing complicated. This uses regular kitchen stuff. Don't let your lettuce go wilty, but in the very, very simplest terms, trust what you know tastes good to you and to your family. There is no wrong way about cooking, and I wish more people had told me this when I first started. I was such a rule follower, and I didn't know how to trust my own tastes and what would be good for our family. So this salad is so simple, but it uses a little bit of extra skill, like candying pecans, like making my own dressing at home. But it's so much more for convenience and nourishing bellies in my home. People love this at my house, and it mixes together like a little bit of sour tangy in the dressing. It's got a sweet crunch in the pecans. The apples add a freshness to it, and it's something that just works well for my family. You can mix these up with anything, and if the one thing you get from watching videos where I cook at my house for my family, I hope that you get that you can do this with very simple instincts that you already have, and you can be a confident cook too. Let's assemble this bad boy. Grocery store greens, God love them, because there is nothing growing in the next 2 weeks where we live. It is already a week full of 99 degrees. There's a heat advisory that's going on for more than 24 hours. It's insane. So I'm gonna make a salad for me and a salad for Bo, and then the kids will just come and probably pick throughout the day. So whatever salad base you like. If you just like spinach, go for it. We're gonna cut up these apples, then we're gonna add pecans, and we're gonna put that dressing on. I hope that you are as blessed as I am to hear all the inner workings of these children's minds as they put together this puzzle. There's probably a little bit here that feels like, oh my gosh, Kelly's children just work quietly and politely in the background. And yes, about 50% of that is true. Snack, grab a couple. And also, we just feed their little hands to keep them busy while we're doing things. The big girls are a huge help with George, so they're like eager to be around when everything is ready. And George is like, what can I get away with while this is going on? But honestly, one of the reasons that we started sharing cooking is like, hey, we didn't have anyone 15 years ago. I know that it sounds like a century. When I started cooking, I was like, hey mom, what's a really easy meal that I can make? And she goes, you should make these buttered noodles. Now, my mom is an excellent cook. My mom has made so many dishes that I love to make again as an adult. But when I say I'm recreating my mother's meals, it's because she's like, yeah, make these buttered noodles. It's butter and onions finely diced, and then you cook the noodles and you toss it together. It's delicious. I have never made something more disgusting in my life than I did when I was a 1 week old, just married for 1 week as a bride. Oh my Lanta. There has never been something as disgusting as that, except when I later reflected on things that I thought my mother had made that were disgusting. Surprisingly enough, the worst was not the liver and onions that my dad really enjoyed. The worst was when my mom made broccoli pesto. It is traumatizing 25 years later. I still consider it. And that is why I recommend trusting your taste buds, because you know what you like. You just might not know how to get to that end product. So playing around with recipes my mom had, when she'll tell me like, oh, just add this, just put this in, and she gives me no amounts, is probably because she's like, I don't know how much I put in. I just trust it. And it's not because people are like gatekeeping their recipes, or they're just so elevated they can't even imagine how to describe what they create. It really is that they've learned what they like. Does Georgia want some?
Yeah.
Okay. An offering to the wild ones.
Georgia.
So take a little risk in your kitchen. See what you like. And hopefully you will make meals that are better than buttered noodles. So that's probably how much I put on. Handfuls. We measure by handfuls and heartfuls. These are the pecans on top of the salad, baby. Yeah, let's put the dressing on. If you're on the protein train, add anything to this. Rotisserie chicken would be really good in this. I don't have any, and I was about to add chicken nuggets, but then felt like I don't even want that right now. I had a lot of cheesy eggs for breakfast. So we're gonna put a little bit of feta cheese on this and then dress it and enjoy it. This will keep for probably about a week, so I will very likely put this dressing on another salad later this week. All right, guys, you ready to eat? Purple lettuce.
Well, Mommy.
All right.
Eat.
Eaty. You want me to do it?
Not the best, but it's okay. It's good.
Not the best. What would you do to make it better, Finn?
Mommy. Syrup. Mommy.
Syrup. That makes sense. Yeah. So
It's your elf.
if she's trusting her taste buds, you got syrup to that. You can try it? You like it?
Georgia, good?
No.
Finley tried. While they're devouring the small pieces of the salad they enjoy, they're literally picking through it. We have more summer recipes coming up, from popsicles to a pasta salad that's got a really delicious seasoning on it. Maybe add feta cheese to your grocery list this week because they're going crazy for it. If you like this video and you want to do more cooking in your basic kitchen, I see that cheese. Check out these other videos that we've done recently. This one in particular is our family's secret recipe for a bread that's so good you're gonna want to eat it every day. Okay, I'm gonna eat now. It's my turn.